Good.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody has a cup of coffee. I have to in order to survive. Yeah.
Yep.
To make it through the morning. So our topic today is show and tell, right? Travel show and tell,
Yep.
April.
Travel show and tell.
Which is going to be fun because I love reminiscing about trips I've taken and things I've seen. So do you want to share first, April, or we want to just go around the room?
Yeah, we can go around the room. I guess I'm April, for anyone who doesn't know me. I know I invited many of you, so thanks for joining. I tend to collect things I can wear now. So either like a piece of jewelry or like t-shirts. Like here's one when I was traveling with a band a lot, like Detroit. I'd get the different cities. Here's the Beatles for Sheila from London. Or actually, I got that in Liverpool at the Beatles exhibit there. So lots of fun stuff.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I like to pick up, is stuff that I can either use or wear, because I'm not big on like the little
tchotchkes.
Well, because I want to travel a lot, right? So if I have to buy, then I have to have a lot of space for all of those things.
Right.
And you also have to pack them, right? Which is a whole other thing. Anybody else want to go and share what they have? I'll go next. Go ahead, Sheila. You got stuff?
Okay. Yeah. Basically, I got this a couple of years ago when I was in Japan. And I had never heard about it. A friend of mine told me about it. And it's called a temple book, a Goshuin. And you buy it at a temple, and I may be showing this upside down.
Okay.
And it's the individual book is, let's see if I can do it this way. It's accordion. Oops, wow. There goes all my little extra pieces. Oh, well, I'll fix that. It's accordion style. But every time you stop at a temple or a shrine, you have the option of taking your book and asking them to do the monks for a very small amount, like usually 300 yen, which is under $3.
Okay.
Wow. And do this and then use the red chop. See if I can get this to work here.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous, Sheila.
Oh, beautiful.
And then when you're done, and there go my leaves that I had in. When you're done, you can literally open it up and display it if you like. And when I saw that they had I bought this one at Meiji. No, not Meiji Jingo. Anyway, one of the big Asakusa. And I bought that there. And then when I saw that some of them you could buy bags to keep them in.
Oh, nice.
And but I couldn't find one for this size. And I was telling my friend, my Japanese friend, I went, oh, yeah, I wish I could find a bag the right size. And she made one for me.
Oh, so you got another treat.
Beautiful.
So this goes in here. Oops. And drawstring, and it protects it.
Yeah.
And they actually you can get them smaller, but where I bought mine, there weren't any smaller. So, but I love it. It's so personal, and mine is going to be different from anyone else's.
Oh,
and it's an inexpensive thing to do. It's not, a large commitment.
Right.
So now I got to see I can do something with all my leaves, which
oh no, sorry.
I forgot I put leaves in it.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well,
that's all right. Thank you. I love that, because I love that it's one thing you purchase, but then it becomes kind of a memento of all the next places that you purchase, because you can, kind of like the national park passport program that they have, right? You buy the one. That's what I was thinking as she was doing that, right? Like, it's kind of cool, because then you don't have to buy a thing every time you go. You just get them to, right?
Yeah. Just add to it. So it becomes, as time goes on, even though you've not put a lot of financial commitment into it, it becomes more and more of a personalized souvenir.
Fantastic. I love that.
I'm going to go get my leaves.
Go
so
down
I'll
and
drop
get your
out
leaves.
of
Bye-bye.
So
I'll be right back.
Get your leaves.
Oh, that's too funny. Anyone else got a share?
Well, I have a plate that I also buy souvenirs for myself that I can use. So
okay.
this, we went, I'm not seeing it on my
There it
screen.
is.
I see it.
If you put it in front of your body, I think we can see it. There you go.
There.
Yeah.
Get one of those backgrounds so you disappear.
It's from
now
it's from Mexico, from the Talaveras ceramic factory, and the sun is hitting it, so you can't see the beautiful colors. So we watched these being made.
Oh, wow.
So it was just special, not just to go into a store, but then they, of course, allowed us in the store, and we were able to purchase anything we want.
That's beautiful.
I used to buy a cup or a mug everywhere I went, and that got to be unsustainable in terms of cupboard space, but I did get some plates, and so that was a good time in Mexico.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Who else has a travel souvenir? Even if it's a food item you ate.
Well, I'll go. I'll go. So this is actually my first time here, guys. So I'm Lisa. And so when my husband and I travel, I mean, we really don't buy souvenirs very much. It's really much more about, you know, we really kind of do more photographs and picture and things like that. So I'll show you my photo. You guys are going to think I'm really strange, but you guys need to remember something. I'm a genealogist. So I don't know if you can see, but so this is a picture of just a very old tombstone. This was actually in, I think it was Halifax, Newfoundland. But that's something that we enjoy doing in these older towns. We always kind of, I've converted him, and we always wander the old cemeteries. And it's just really fascinating what you can learn about the culture, you know, from the old tombstones and stuff. It's just fun. It sounds weird, but it's something we really enjoy doing.
No, it's it's meaningful.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of times, you know, I'll bring back pictures and things like that as opposed to an actual souvenir. But so when I look at that picture, and it wasn't anybody I'm related to or anything like that, but it reminds me of that beautiful day. The weather was gorgeous, the sun was pretty, and just that, and the chance to be able to walk around out there and do that. So that's what I do.
Well, if I can just jump in, Lisa,
Please.
I so get it. I am a cemetery geek too.
Isn't that the coolest thing ever?
It is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Well, there's so many stories there, and there's so much history there, and I think you can learn a lot about a location you're visiting just by going to the cemeteries.
Yeah, most definitely.
And they're very different from one location to the other, not even outside of the US, but even within the United States. They seem to be vastly different. So like you said, there's history and some sort of artistic piece to it, right?
There is a lot of, artistry in the tomb, and there's a lot of symbolism on there. And that's one of the reasons I was taking that photograph I showed, and I took a lot because there was some unusual, because that one was in Canada, it was in Newfoundland, so it was stuff I hadn't seen. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, things you don't think about. Anybody else want to go?
I can go.
Okay. Yay.
Hi.
Hi, Susan.
When I travel, I have lots of collections, and yeah, it gets too much. I have mask collections. I have collections of weapons. I have collections of pillowcases now because they're lighter and easier.
That's a great idea.
Pillowcases. But one of my favorite things that I do when I travel is I like to barter with people. And so I'll bring like a little bandanas or I don't know, whatever I have with me. And I barter. So
hey, that sounds fun.
It is. It is. I got a Maasai spear in Africa because I bartered something with them. But one of my favorite things is this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
It's kind of floating.
Yeah. It goes back and forth. Could you have that?
It's not meshing with your background.
There, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Kind of looks like a carrot.
Yeah.
It does look like a carrot. Anybody?
Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh.
Anybody know what it is?
Not a clue.
Nope.
Petrified carrot.
It has little strings, one on this side, and then a longer one on this side, and it's hollow.
Okay.
Blowgun.
A blowgun.
Is it like a musical instrument?
It does look like a musical instrument. And it's funny because I've had people come to my house and I'd say, "Oh, what do you think that is?" And they would take it and they would go like this. I mean, like, no, don't do that, don't do that. Because what it is, I don't know if you can see that.
Hold it in front of your body so
in front of your
it doesn't
body.
disappear.
Okay.
Oh, now I can't. I still can't see it, but tell us what it is.
Yeah, tell us.
It's worn on a gentleman's penis.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it's a cord that sits on their penis, and that's all they wear.
Oh.
Besides a headset.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I would never have guessed that.
Not on my radar there.
Not from the shape.
How did you barter for that? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, let's hear that story.
Did he have a spare?
I tried.
That's fair. Good one.
Ooh, good question.
I tried to get the one from the chief, but the chiefs are, as in their order of the tribe, the chief one is bigger than the others, and of course,
apparently size does matter.
Size does matter.
Too much.
So he wouldn't let me have his. But this one, I think I bartered a utensil, like it was a fork knife kind of thing, and so it was a metal thing, and he wanted that, and I was like, okay, you got it.
Wow.
Now whip that sucker off and give it to me.
Hopefully you didn't get any questions coming back through customs or anything. Like,
Yeah. I want to travel with Susan. She is quite the adventurer. When you say meet locals, that's really getting, that's meeting locals.
I have a lot of really cool things like this that you can't buy in the market. I mean, you can probably buy them in the markets, but
right.
But it doesn't make as good a story if you buy it in the market.
No.
No, don't worry, he didn't take it off right in front of me. He had it in his hut.
So was the photo a picture of the man who owned it previously?
It's actually a postcard.
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's not. It's not. It's just a postcard, and it's actually a picture. I should tell you. I went to Indonesia, and I went to a very remote area to see a petrified mummy.
Okay.
Okay, and so it was hilarious, the trip that I took to go see this mummy. And so he's standing, oh gosh, I wish I could show this to you.
If you turn
your background off.
Yeah, turn off your background, then we can see it.
I've tried, I don't know how to do that because
I don't think I do either.
I'm not
if you, down in the bottom, there's where it says, I think it's down there where it says video. If you click the little arrow, and then it will say choose virtual background, and I think you click that, and then I think you can say none. I believe those are the steps. Video arrow, choose virtual background, none.
Oh, none.
Hey, there you are.
So this is the picture, and this is the mummy. And he actually carried the mummy out to show me. And this is a different village.
Okay.
But you can see where they're wearing.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Indeed.
And the mummy's in front of them, and I followed this little sign that said MUMY down a path. And,
it was Bill Mummy from Lost in Space.
And so now I'm going to look really good to my kids because it totally creeps them out that I go to a cemetery. You go after the mummies. I'm looking really good right now.
I like cemeteries too, believe me. But yeah, I gotta go after the unique kinds of strange.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's why I travel alone a lot.
Oh, like I said, I would love to travel with you. You want to meet? So I'll share mine. So I, like April, I have a tendency to purchase things that I can wear. So I always buy earrings. So these are purchased from, I don't know if you can see them. You guys have seen them. I know April has seen them because I wear them quite often.
Hold it right up to the camera. No, yeah. Closer. Oh yeah. I have seen those.
Yeah. And beautiful.
Those I purchased. These are from Belize, and these.
And what are those made out of? They look really nice.
Like, I don't want to say it's mahogany. It's probably mahogany. If they're wooden.
But it's a wood. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, how nice. Oh,
yeah.
nice.
They're very pretty. And then these, this is a bracelet that I bought from a woman in Costa Rica, and these are made from seeds.
Oh,
those are pretty.
So it's kind of black and brown, and it has a really nice color to it, but I watched her make it out front, and I often do that. So I will, if I see a crafts person sitting outside and they're, you know, hand making, right, like the plates, and then I will stop, and I usually try to purchase something if it's small enough that I can take it home, because I don't want to fill up my bag with that. And I was going to grab my piece of art because I have something from Detroit that years ago, I went to Detroit and I bought little tiny hand painted landscape portraits that some gentleman was doing. He sold them for me like for $6. They're beautiful. I have them framed in my bathroom and I love them. But I buy stuff like that when I travel. And then the other thing, which is I'm weird, my kids think I'm strange, is I bought dish soap. This is from...
Okay, that is different.
It is different. This is from Costa Rica. And when we went to Costa Rica, dish soap is like, it's sort of like Comet, but it's in a paste. I don't know if you can tell that.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it was the most amazing thing. Every little place we went had this, and you just wet your sponge and you put it in there, and it's got a little, again, kind of like Comet, it's got a little graininess to it, and it's soapy, and it washes your dishes. And so I actually bought this on Amazon after, because I used up the stuff. So I continued to purchase it. I brought some home, and I was like, I'm going to see if I can get something similar, because it cleans pots and pans better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fantastic. So somebody had told me a few years ago, like, look for those kinds of things, like buy toothpaste, something you can use, something that you can put in your everyday life, because then you'll see, because I mean, I think of it every time I use it. It's, you know, you go put every time you use it, every time I wear my earrings, it's kind of cool to have those kinds of memories, right?
Right. So Helen, did you have something to share?
We do.
This is Sandy, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a Helen and.
I know, I was like...
And Sandy. So, yeah, Helen, actually, was it 3 months or 6 months you spent in South Africa?
6.
6. Anyway, at some point, you know, we bought this.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
I'm tilting it to try and not
Yeah,
have it.
no, it's gorgeous.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, I visited a couple of times.
Yeah, we got that from a gallery in Cape Town. It was a bunch of local artists. We bought a few. I tend to buy stuff that's small and easy to pack.
Yes.
Right.
You know, I see a lot of it also keeps me from buying everything too.
I know the feeling, Helen.
We've all been there. Yes.
Yeah. So there's like wall art, stuff that you can roll up. There's, you know, jewelry, little containers, things like that. Otherwise, it stays there. And order it later.
Yeah. We were talking about artwork. Has anybody else purchased artwork that they have?
I have.
Yeah, I have too.
Like, just a second, I'll show it. Hold on.
Oh, okay. What did you purchase, April?
Oh, I've got some little pen and ink drawings from like New Orleans, and same thing, just, you know, you see little Italy, and I couldn't find it this morning, but you know, you see them out there just doing the art, and it's nice to have a conversation and ask them about it and everything. So after we see Sheila's too, we should go around the room, because I know people are joining us, I think, from different places. So
yeah. Sure.
Okay, I bought this in Krakow, Poland, and the guy was the art. Oh, gee, I need to dust. The artist.
It's okay, it helps with glare.
Yeah. The artist and his wife were up by the castle, and let's see. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
You can see it's absolutely tiny, and he had a bunch of them, but I could afford this one. Right. And I didn't, they put it in an envelope for us, and they talked to us, and we said, oh, what's good to eat around here? And they wrote down stuff for us to try. And I've got pictures, and it was a wonderful experience. And I know I'm not unique in that. And I think that's really wonderful for those of us who travel a lot, because you're supporting the local economy.
Right. That's how I feel. I really liked it. And when you mentioned writing stuff down, I was in Vietnam. That's where we were. And we were on one of those junket boat tours. So we were on the same boat for about 4 days. And they made we had sort of prefixed meals. So every evening it was pretty much chicken or salmon and this sort of the same food. They had this butternut squash soup, and it was fantastic. And so we had it the first night, had to have a second night, and by the third night we were, you know, just raving about it. That's all we wanted. So we mentioned this to our server, and she went down to the cook, and he wrote the recipe down.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I have
amazing.
that. So that was like, ooh, that's so cool. And that's not,
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay for it. All I had to do was just rave about how wonderful it was. And I was like, here, make it at home. I was like, oh, yay. I get to have that. So that it's like inspired me to think about asking those kinds of questions of people when you're traveling, especially smaller restaurants and so forth. They might just disclose and share that with you. And that's a cool, very cool souvenir to take home if you can get them to do that.
And it doesn't even need to be from a restaurant.
No.
Tonight we're having gazpacho for dinner. And I got the recipe. I volunteered in English school in Spain. And I was talking with one of the women who was one of the Spaniards. And I just went, you know, I really love gazpacho. And she goes, oh, that's so easy to make. And I went, so I've got it written down in my phone. Perfect.
That's awesome. That's great. So I think you're right, April. We should go around the room. I mean, I don't know everybody here, and I know they don't know each other. So I'll let you do it around the room because I can't.
So we were going to say our name, where we're from, and what we're drinking.
Okay.
So my name's April Bielefeld, and today I'm in Santa Clarita, which is just north of Los Angeles by Magic Mountain, which is a big amusement park. And I'm always drinking coffee in the morning. So.
And the rest of the day.
Lisa, because you're to my...
Okay, so I have no idea what order. Well, I'm Lisa. Listen, I'm in North Carolina, so I met April in a Facebook group to be on your YouTube video, and I am drinking coffee. Now, it is noon here, so just so you know, I've had quite a lot of coffee already. But I do love it.
Great.
All right, Sheila.
Oh, I'm Sheila, and I am a friend of April and Cindy's. I live in the same area, and I'm in West LA, and I was drinking iced coffee. It's now all gone.
Fabulous. So I see Susan next.
Okay. Yep, I'm Susan. I live near you guys. I live in Santa Monica.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually
we're
lived
neighbors.
in Valencia for a while, and but now I am at the beach. So if you guys want to come down and visit,
oh, nice.
We might.
It's hot where you guys are, where Santa Clarita is anyway.
Yeah,
it's hot up here.
Yeah, and I am drinking lemon water.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yep.
All right, Pat, you're next.
My name's Pat Foley. I live up on the north side of Big Bear Lake in the San Bernardino National Forest up in California.
Oh, wow.
So north of a lot of you, but still considered Southern California.
Yep.
And I am drinking, I had my coffee, so now I'm drinking water.
Oh,
good.
Beautiful.
Sort of. It's there. I may drink it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a beautiful, cooler day up there, I imagine.
Yes, it'll be in the 70s. We had 80s up to 90s the previous week, but now it's cooled down, and it was like 32 degrees in the morning the other day. I went, okay, I'll close the windows.
Wow.
Whoa.
I like it. I prefer that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us too. So Helen and Sandy, if I got it right?
Yep. So we met April through a college friend of mine, Catherine Maroney, who I thought was going to be on.
Catherine.
Yeah.
We know Catherine.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandy.
I know. I guess she went traversing the city or something today. So thank you for continuing to join us. Thank you. And where are you at now?
And we're in New Jersey.
Okay.
New Jersey. And,
And what are you drinking? Because it's
Coffee.
probably, it's noon there. So you're still good. You got your coffee going on. I love it. You're our kind of people.
Exactly.
And then Cindy, I guess you're last.
Yeah, I'm last. So I'm Cindy Cohen, and that's okay. And I'm in Los Angeles. I live in Silver Lake, so right in LA. and I'm drinking coffee, and I will be drinking it at noon today. I drink it all day long, so I am one of those coffee drinkers. I just go, when it gets too hot, I go from coffee to iced coffee, but it's still coffee, so for sure. My air just went off.
So what happened?
My air condition just went off, like, because it suddenly got quiet in the house, so it must be cool enough. Like, I heard the fan go off, which doesn't happen very often. But I think it's cooling off, because you said it was like 30. It was actually really cold last night. I had my windows open too, so it was chilly.
Wow, nice.
I think we've been pretty fortunate, Susan and I, because we're near the beach, and we haven't had the really hot weather yet.
Yeah. I had a couple of days in the last month or so where even at night it was still in the 70s, where it was still warm. But I think the last week or so it's gotten down to the 50s and 60s, like the 60s area, which is, I like to sleep with the windows open. That's my, right?
Right.
So Helen and Sandy, how did you fare with the hurricane? Did that affect you guys? Did you get a lot of rain and wind, or did it kind of just scoot past you guys?
The storm itself was short.
Okay.
It didn't seem to have caused much damage, but we lost power for 33 hours, and some parts of our town still don't have power. They're not saying.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Trees, lots of trees fell on wires.
Yeah.
There's rules about, you can't just go take the chop up the tree. You have to have the power company come and do it. So they've been a little stretched. Yeah. I mean, other than that, it was fine. We had to throw out a thing of milk, it was not a big deal.
Well, 33 hours was a bit of time, but thankfully, like you said, you got your power back.
Well, sometimes you just got to man up.
Yeah. We had to sacrifice. We barbecued some stuff, and we had some champagne. What
was gonna go?
Skunk, bunch of eggs.
And Lisa, in the Carolinas, did it kind of miss you too, or was it kind of?
Well, I'm right in central, and we're in the central part, so just wind and rain, really not much in our area. Of course, the coast kept pretty, a lot of flooding and stuff at the coast, but not so much really where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I was actually in Texas, so for the whole thing. So I missed it.
So you just come back and make sure everything's still standing, right?
That's right. Make sure the house is still standing. Yeah, my daughter lives out there, and she had fractured her elbow a few weeks ago. So I flew out to be mom, and she's doing fabulous. They didn't need to do surgery or anything, and we just really, I just kind of hung out till she kind of got that final doctor's appointment, and we just did a lot of girl things. So girl time.
So since it sounds like you probably flew last, unless someone else in this group was.
Yeah, it was different.
Right. So if you could share a little bit about that, I'd love to hear.
Sure.
What your experience was.
I flew from Raleigh-Durham to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta to Love Field in Dallas, and I flew Southwest. And so, I mean, I did they're usually the ones we fly when we go out that way, but I also wanted to go because I felt like they were doing a little bit more as far as keeping that middle seat open and things like that. So everybody wore masks. They make a big deal about children not wanting to wear masks. Well, I saw tons of, or not tons. I saw lots of children there traveling, and they all had their little mask on, and they were all seemed to be perfectly happy kids, Yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, did they do anything different at your airport? I know each airport may be completely different in how they're handling it, but.
Yeah, I would say, so definitely, everybody's kind of social distancing. Everybody wears a mask. You have to wear a mask when you go in. When you get to the TSA guy, they make you, you have to take it off so they can see your face. That's, but I mean,
that makes sense.
5 seconds, just so they can verify, check it against your ID. And then that was pretty much it. What I did notice is that in Dallas, when I was flying back, so I was flying in and out of Love Field, they actually had a temperature thing. So there was I didn't really catch on to what it was at first till I kind of walked through it. As you're going into the security line, everybody goes through this one entrance, and they told me you take your mask off, and they told me to take my glasses off, and they said until you get past the camera, and I don't know, maybe 10 feet or something like that. And it's a thermal scan, basically, I think is what it is.
Okay.
But they're checking your temperature. But I'm like, okay, well, that's great. But, you know, RDU doesn't do that. So that's what I see is the inconsistencies. But everybody was wearing a mask. Social distancing seemed to be really pretty good in the airports. The only thing I don't see it happening at is when that plane lands and people are getting up to get their stuff before they get out. It's like that's no different. Everybody's kind of, you know, crowding up. So that's the, you know, and flight attendants are like, guys, you know, and she's trying to get everybody to kind of, but that's the only part that I really didn't see the social distancing happen.
Yeah.
Where it was, but the airports they're quieter than usual, certainly. And just well, they're not as many people, so the volume is not as loud, but I don't think people are talking as much either. It just seems overall kind of a quieter atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, and the airplanes, they only gave out water, so no coffee service or anything like that. Just wanting to kind of minimize, and they gave you a bag of trail mix or snack mix, whatever it was. So, which was fun. But the problem is it's really hard to get a cup of coffee between here and Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it makes it easier to sleep on the plane, no?
I know. Fortunately, I had some before I left home, but I thought, well, I'm going to grab a cup in Atlanta at the Atlanta airport. But darn it, the Starbucks kiosks were closed in that particular terminal. Now, not all Starbucks are closed, but so I did notice a lot of things were closed. Not a lot of restaurants were open. So if you do travel, definitely take your own food, snacks.
Because they're just not as busy, right?
Right, and whatever's open has extremely long lines.
Got it.
So that was kind of what I noticed.
What time of day were you traveling?
Going out, I had like a 7 a.m. flight or something like that at our RDU, so I was out really early. I got to the airport, I forget, super early. And then coming back, I think I left Dallas about 10:15 or so. So yeah.
So midday, basically.
Midday, yeah. Nothing crazy.
Not in the middle of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
But Starbucks should have been open.
Yes, that was my point.
Absolutely. Dear God,
I know. I mean, like, if you're going to travel, come on. You know?
What have we become, folks?
That's right. What have we become?
Oh, no. But, we need the coffee.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you always have that in the back of your mind, but it was, you know, I mean, I thought, well, if I'm going to go, this is the way to go. Oh, my sister-in-law told me, because her sister is a engineer, works for Boeing and designs airplanes, that when you get on the airplane, open your vent full blast right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because these airplanes recirculate fresh air every 30 seconds. I didn't know that. So.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that's good to know. Good idea. So she was like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
So, to kind of keep things moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's fresh air too. I was like, oh, okay, that works.
How do they disinfect the plane before people get on?
You know what? I have no idea. I tried not to think too deeply on that. But yeah, but they do have a crew that comes on to do that. I don't really quite know what all they do. Everybody has their own wipes. And
I just read an article yesterday or the day before saying that Southwest was going to stop wiping down the trays.
Right.
Was it the trays and the seat belts?
Arms and seat belts.
That was it. Yeah, I don't think they ever wiped down the trays, but the arms and seat belts, that they were going to stop doing that. It seems rather bad timing.
Yeah, I saw them. But a lot of people are doing their own.
Oh, right.
They'll actually come through and collect all your wipes before they take off. They'll come through. Good. Because so many people are doing it. They don't want, you know.
They're going to have trash, yeah.
It'd be nice if I could find a wipe, but yeah. I still haven't seen any on the shelves.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Okay on that.
I haven't seen the Clorox wipe in 4 months.
Yeah, I don't think those are hard for me to get too, actually.
Or Lysol or any of the the Perel or any of the name brands. I haven't seen any.
If you want like antibacterial soap, nope, not getting that.
Really?
I mean, sometimes I'll see it, but most of the time I go down that aisle and it's pretty empty. It used to be, of course, like that with toilet paper, but now that seems to be a little bit better. Yeah. But the hand sanitizer
Luckily,
stuff.
You don't need antibacterial soap for
No, I don't use it either. Yeah. I don't know why it's all gone, but that's what's gone. Like you go and it's yeah.
Well,
People just think it helps.
About a week ago, I was, grocery shopping. We don't go very often, but I was going down the aisles, and you know what was all gone was the Spam.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, so we're having a run on Spam?
Hey, that's a scary thought.
So they told us to have supplies for 2 weeks in case you get sick and you can't leave the house. So
in case you get sick.
Getting stuff that they would put in the cellar or something that in case they couldn't leave the house, they'd have supplies.
Okay.
I mean,
people deliver, so I would just be like, I can't leave. I'd have delivery. Like, I'd be okay. Just deliver stuff.
Yeah, but nobody knew what was going to happen, right? Like, if everything had to shut down completely and you were stuck, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
That's what prompted all the paper products to go bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you should always have that. I mean,
and I don't know if you've noticed, all the paper products are white now because they didn't have time to print them. They couldn't make it fast enough. I work for the printing industry. We make printing.
Oh,
okay.
And we had our salespeople crying because we normally hours. And I was like, just be quiet. Just, just
let people have their toilet paper.
Well, because on the other side, on the packaging side, it's so busy that we couldn't keep up.
Right.
So, it's a strange year.
It's an absolutely strange year. And it's sometimes getting stranger, like the odd things that happen, right?
At this point, I'm just like, sure, whatever. Sharks? Sure.
Sharknado?
Sharks off the coast of New England.
No, that's crazy, yeah.
I know.
But Helen, what they were saying down here in North Carolina, they're like, a hurricane heading for North Carolina in August? That's about the most normal thing that's happened to us around there. Okay, that we can do. That we know how to do.
Well, we're a little
anyone have any trips planned or car trips or any plans?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm still planning to go to Montana with a couple of women. So we're still planning to go to Montana. The east side of Glacier National Park has closed. So I had to redo the route a bit and all their entrances on that side because it borders Native American reservation lands, and the Native Americans, because of the spike in the cases, basically said, no going through that side. So instead of doing a loop through a larger portion of Montana, I just kind of shifted it and actually put in a phone call to Alaska Airlines, because part of the reason we chose to go to Montana is there were direct flights from LAX into Montana. And I thought one plane, one airport, but they recently sent out notification that we're going to have to switch planes, which now we'll have 2 airports, 2 planes. So I actually got on the phone with Alaska Airlines. The woman answered the phone very quickly, and she was super sweet. So I can't say enough about the quick customer service. And she probably we were on the phone probably a good 20 minutes, and she told me to keep calling back because she literally took the whole map of Montana, because there's several airports between there and just with Yellowstone at the southern part of Montana bordering Wyoming and Idaho on the side. I said, I really want to just try to fly direct because the 3 of us are all coming from LAX. She's like, right now, Alaska Airlines eliminated all of the direct flights in those areas, again, because money, basically she said, I mean, they don't have enough people. So by making the stop, they drop people off and then, so we'll see. We're just playing it by ear. The other place I love to go in the fall is New England. And right now, most of that is probably going to be a no-go because of the required 72-hour COVID negative tests. I was on a lot of websites for even museums out there, and they're making you, if you want to buy a museum ticket, they make you fill out a form of where you're from, present ID.
If museums are open?
They're open, like Shelburne Museum in Vermont. It has a lot of outdoor buildings, so you're mostly outside. And that's the
Okay.
one I thought, you're going to be outside on the grounds because they have a collection of buildings outside that you're walking around.
All right.
Yeah.
'Cause
But still,
the museums around here are,
Yeah, they're closed here too.
But I was just, I have clients that are asking too, like, what if they drive into Vermont? Well, a lot of places are going to be checking like their ID, their lodgings are going to start probably requiring this form that the governor put out. You have to fill out and sign and
unless you're staying with family or friends, you're going to be in that quarantine.
Well, Vermont's numbers are very low for coronavirus, and I think they want to keep it that way.
Oh,
right?
I don't fault them for what they're doing. It's just, new hurdles as travelers, we're kind of like, wait, what's going on? So
I just figure I'll stay put and go wild when it's less of a hassle. I need to go to Canada. I actually need to go. That's where my mom lives.
Oh, yeah.
And while I have a Canadian passport, I need, 3 weeks or something to be able to travel. I need to get there, quarantine for 2 weeks. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near anybody for 2 weeks. Then I can do my business and then come home and probably inside again. Although that's not such a hardship at home because that's what we've been doing.
Right.
We work from home. I don't leave much except to go for walks. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what Catherine's run into too, because she's still working everything, she's working for JPL from home, but her mother's in Canada and she has dual passports, but like she said, it does her no good because she would still have to spend the 2 weeks and it would eat through her vacation time.
Right. I mean, I could work from there if I needed to, but it's just a pain.
Yeah. Hopefully in a few months it'll get better. I mean, just a few more months maybe and we'll start to see, but maybe we've been saying that too long. Okay, yeah.
Well, at some point everyone's going to get it and we'll be done. Herd immunity will be done.
I don't know when that'll happen.
Not that, because that would be very bad, actually.
No, it sounds frightening.
Not the ideal.
No.
Because I think in order for herd immunity to happen, something like 60% of the people need to have gotten it.
Yeah, which would mean a big percentage of people are going to have to not make it. Yeah, I don't want to say that, but yeah.
Well,
truthfully, you're right, Sheila. Exactly, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
So Pat, have you been? You'll be getting some fall colors though up your way, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe it happens. Who knows? With climate change, things happen at weird times, but. I think that maybe September will be warmer than August, it's looking like to me. So I don't know what will happen with the colors, but I mean, it's nothing like New England colors. I grew up in Connecticut, so that's about the only thing I miss about back east, frankly. So we don't get the same variety of colors up here. But
are you faring okay with the apple fire? I know you're kind of close up there. Do you have ash and smoke?
No, it's not affecting us at all. Except, of course, it worries people because there's a lot of tourists coming up here.
Yeah.
And the city has changed, done different things and not had consistent warnings about this. It says wear masks, but so many people aren't. And people are going out camping, and even though they're not supposed to have fires, they have fires. And so I just really worry. I think it's just a matter of time before one of them ignites closest to where I am. But, I was talking to a neighbor the other day, and it's been 17 years since we've had to evacuate from up here. So maybe I'm over worrying, but there's so many people. There's been 3.
No, I don't think you're over worrying.
3 people have died from drowning in the lake because they're not paying attention to how cold the water is, or
Right.
I mean, there's so many people up here now. I just stay I'm on the north side, so there's fewer people, and I don't go anywhere on weekends. I don't go over to town.
Yeah, it's got to be tough because you're in one of those spots where it's a vacation spot for the other communities, right? So, and it's cooler, right? So
and I think people figure that since they're coming up to be outdoors most of the time, that it's okay. I mean, I
Yep.
run across, every once in a while I'll run across people on the trails, and there's no attempt to put a mask on, even though we're, I mean, you know, I don't think you catch the virus unless you're standing together, talking together for 15 minutes or something. So I'm not really worried, but it's like there's no attempt to be considerate as you pass, and I put my mask on even though it's temporary.
Right.
So I figure people just come up here, but they're coming up in droves.
Right.
Well, don't you think that part of the thing may be that people can't travel? It's summer when people normally go on vacation. They can't go overseas. They can't go, and they go, well, we'll just go to Big Bear.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm planning to go to Sequoia National Park, where I haven't been in many, many years. I'm going up to Sequoia and Kings Canyon in September. And, you know, I've booked a room, and I figure once I get up there, if it's really, really crowded, I'm going during the week, you know, I'll go into the park early so I don't have to sit in line. But if it's really, really crowded, I'll just come home, I guess. So I'm kind of doing the same thing in a way.
Right. Yeah, but it is frustrating when you're outdoors, because I live pretty close to Griffith Park, and I have a lake right next to us where we walk, and I can walk to the lake. The lake's about 2 blocks from my house, so I can walk down to the lake, and it's a 2-mile walk around the lake, which is a beautiful thing. I don't do it anymore. I get in the car and I go to Griffith Park, and I don't do the lake anymore because the trail, it's wide enough for us to give 6 feet social distancing, but people will just walk right past you. No mask. You know, they're not there. Like you said, there's none of that. Like, I put my mask on if I see somebody, and walking around the lake, pretty much you have to wear it the whole time because it's pretty crowded. But they'll just walk, you know, brush your shoulder, like walk right past you. And it's, you know, you're trying to walk by, they can see you're trying to navigate away from them, and they will just completely ignore you. A whole crowd of like 4 or 5 people comes up, approaches you. So when I go to Griffith Park, the trails are wider there, as well as there's grass on one side. So sometimes I actually get off the trail and move all the way over here and let you pass, and I stand there and wait, because you're not wearing a mask, you and your crowd of friends, which that's your choice, I guess. In LA, actually, that's not, they should be wearing it.
Right. Well, all over California, you're supposed to have it on. Even outdoors, if you're around people that aren't part of your unit.
Yeah, New Jersey's the same.
Yeah.
So
I went out for my walk this morning early, and this is the only time this has happened. And I got about 3 blocks away from the house and went,
yeah.
So I turned around and came back.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never saw another person. This was, you know, like before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Up there early.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the
that
rule
happens.
here is if they're around other people, you have to wear it. But if you're outside and you're by yourself,
right, there's no need. Right.
Yeah.
There's no need, but I think
in case I run into somebody. But
yeah.
But I think in California, it's if you're outside in public, you have to,
You're supposed to wear a mask.
You're supposed to wear, even if you're not around people, you're still supposed to wear it. Yeah.
So I'm feeling all judgy and you know, like I judge people when they're not wearing a thing.
Me too.
And I don't know how to deal with this resentment. It's I think I probably lost the friendship of a neighbor of mine, just because she says that she's social distancing, and back when we were really staying in place, she was talking about how she was staying in place, and I'm like, I can see what you do. I live across the street from you. Don't tell me you're staying in place. She has 2 residences, and she was going between the 2. I mean, you know, so I don't know that our friendship's going to survive this, or it'll be on a different level, you know, just because she is in such denial about her actions. I feel bad about it. I don't know how to deal with the fact that I'm judging people on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, even people you don't know.
Good.
Susan, did you have something to say? I think we're all just talking. Yeah.
Oh, I just said that there's $100 fine in Santa Monica if you don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
is
know
there?
Santa Monica, I know. Because I go down there, I go to Santa Monica to get a day just at the beach and cool off. But I was there, I think it was Thursday, and everywhere they have big signs. So they are making it very clear. And I saw, I mean, we wore our mask the entire beach walk. Everyone I passed, I saw maybe 2, maybe 3 people that weren't, that looked a lot, I hate to say it, they looked a lot younger than I was, maybe.
Maybe that's it.
So I don't know, maybe they just, popped out. I don't know if we're still getting a little bit of summer tourism from other places. I don't know, but.
I think, well, we definitely are. You guys know I take drives. My daughter and I, we don't go anywhere, but we get in the car and just do a loop around our neighborhood. And then we come home. That's our get outside moment. And so we drive down Sunset Boulevard. Sometimes we'll drive through Hollywood. Last couple of times we've been driving through Beverly Hills just because we want something else to see. And Beverly Hills has, I think it's a $200 fine because that's posted.
That's high too.
West Hollywood, I think it's more. I think it's $4. And that's posted. So Glendale, I know, has, because there was a lot of hoopla about that. Glendale's doing $200, then $4, then $2,000. If you have the third infraction, it's $2,000.
Wow.
But which is good because that neighborhood has the highest percentage of people without masks, and they have had a huge outbreak. So they're trying really hard to make a difference. But I definitely see tourists, to your point, that we're still getting tourists. I still see them in the Sunset Hollywood Boulevard area, families of people. They're very clearly tourists. But the tourists seem to be wearing masks. I haven't seen any tourists without them. So that's good. I mean, if they're going to,
that's good. Yeah.
And I don't know, my daughter and I were talking about it. Like, I feel like they shouldn't be tourists flying from, someplace else and coming here to tour. But if you happen to live like in Riverside, or you live outside the LA area and you pack up your kids and go into Hollywood for an afternoon, I mean, you're not really traveling. You are a little bit, you're not staying in place, but it's a little bit different than uprooting yourself and traveling for weeks at a time. A day trip is a little different, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're wearing a mask, then you're keeping people safe and you're being considerate. I judge you well on that, but all this just around a mask.
You pass.
Exactly.
Right there with you, though, Pat. Because when some of that crowd of people walks up next to me without their mask, there's all kinds of judgment going on. Yep.
We're very cranky when we go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the time we only do it once a week because by the time we get home, we're in a rage. So.
Yeah. That's
I think
so
one
funny.
of the things that bothers me the most is when I'm grocery shopping and I'm wearing my mask is I've got this stuff to clean my glasses so they won't fog, but you have to keep doing it, and sometimes I forget. And, so I'm in the grocery store, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see, and I'm trying
to
try not to breathe.
The masks
it
with the metal clips
seals.
on them?
Well, it seals, but air still gets through, and it still fogs. Or maybe I'm just a heavy breather.
To try to take your glasses off and put the mask on, and then sit your glasses right on the mask, like as tight as you can. I
do that.
And that will help. Yeah.
It helps. It does not take care of the problem, but it does help.
Yeah. And I also have taken the chin part and moved it up here, so I have a little bit of space, because it's the air, right? So I have the same problem because I can't read the labels at the grocery store without my
Suddenly you can't
on.
see the aisle at all.
So I'm just like, what is it that, it's either I can't see it because it's fogged up, and if I take them off, I can't see it.
Oh my.
So Lisa, do you have some drives planned in your area? Because do you get a little fall color north of you in the mountains, or?
Yeah, but I don't think we have anything planned. I mean, it'll actually be quite pretty around here in different parts of the area. Yeah. But it's usually later. It's usually toward the end of October, November, early November. So yeah. But yeah, but we don't really have any drives planned or anything like that. So. Yeah. Just hanging out here.
Just waiting for it to be better so we can travel.
Yeah, so. I mean, I live on the park, so that's,
nice.
Get out in the park a lot, pretty much every day.
That's good. I think getting outside is really important. Right?
Yeah, I do too.
Almost no other country will let us in now, so.
So that's devastating, right? It's heartbreaking when I see that list. It's just like, because we would really like to go.
Oh, yeah.
Jersey isn't even letting in other states.
Well, they are. You just have to quarantine.
Right.
Yeah, the state
like what?
list though is getting pretty.
That's bad. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
No, I usually go to volunteer at English school in Spain every September. And it was like, well, I probably won't go. And then it was taken out of my hands. It was like, no, you're not coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, Spain's having outbreaks, so.
My British friends, who I'm going to talk to in just a couple minutes, they're saying they're still not totally sure if they're going or not, because the school is going to happen, as it turns out. It's a week-long intensive for the Spaniards, English intensive. And apparently that's going to happen. But my friends are concerned because what can happen is they can get down there. If things spike, they can get stuck.
Yeah.
And as much as it's a lovely idea to be stuck in Spain, it becomes a bit pricey, and what are you going to do, and your job. And
one of my colleagues was stuck in India for 6 weeks, maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, he had gone to visit family, and they shut it down in late March, and he didn't get home to Canada till May. Yeah, so 2 months. And then he had to quarantine when he got home.
Yeah. I've heard some of those stories. Like there were people trying to rush home in March, at the end of March when we were under quarantine. People were trying to get back. They were fearful that they were going to lose their ability.
And if you didn't make it past whatever the deadline was, because they were giving people time to get home, you had to contact the State Department to get home. There was or the Canadian Foreign Service. Because that's the way he got home. They were setting up, the diplomatic corps were setting up special flights like once a week. And you had to go through this whole list of things, like you had to prove you weren't sick, and they'd have to take a picture, and whatever. And they would set a time, and they would tell you what time you were allowed to show up at the airport, and it was very structured and rigid.
Yeah, I think that's one of my fears about traveling until it's settled a little more, is that if you go and then there is a spike or something changes on your trip, all of a sudden you're, like you said, stuck somewhere. That's because it does seem to change quickly.
I had a friend who was traveling down in South America. She's Australian. And then she was coming up here, and she was actually going to stay at my apartment because I was supposed to be gone. Well, then I wasn't gone because I had come back and I was, sheltering in place. And she did come up, but she spent like 2 nights here, and she ended up catching the last flight out of LA to get back home.
Wow.
And that was in the beginning of April, I think.
Yeah.
There are people in South America. I was reading stories about people stuck in South America. Not really knowing how they're going to pay rent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going on a 2 or 3 week trip, you're not expecting to pay for several months.
Right.
Or, a bunch more. Most of us can't afford that kind of financial hit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we got to 10 o'clock. Yeah.
We did. Look at that.
I hate to be the one to break up the party, but probably want to wrap it up. And we're going to do this again in 2 weeks. So please, get the links. You can join one of the meetup groups or find us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of fun 7-minute videos over there. And Lisa's DNA piece is up now about genealogy travel. So good to see everyone. I hope to see you again.
So good to see you,
everybody.
So
be safe. Nice meeting you all.
Nice to meet you. Have a happy Saturday.